Sam, still feeling like just another game, or?
I've kind of been. We were talking about it. Who's feeling the nerves yet? And I feel like I should be nervous, but I'm not yet. I think once tomorrow night rolls around and you see another game happen, and it's likely to escalate over the next 48 hours.
What about the players? You're starting to detect a little nerve spike with them?
I mean, some. We had a chat about it today. Who's feeling something yet? I think it's a lot of the peripheral staff and people. There's a level of excitement around September, and it's not necessarily the players who feel it first. I think that gets closer to game day. But whether it's partners or parents or fans, and I think there's a level of expectation and excitement in the air.
Now that you've qualified, when did you start discussing finals internally?
In 2022, I suppose. I mean, it's always something that you know is in your future, and something that you want to achieve is not just to play finals, but to win grand finals. So that's been the aim, and we break that down into seasons, of course, but we knew that we wanted to play a level of footy that would win finals and win grand finals. So are we at that level yet? We're not out of that race, but we haven't proven that we can win a grand final with the stage we're at right now. But that's the aim, and it has been the aim since I started, and we've been really clear about that, how quickly we could get there. No speed limit, but we suspected it would take a little bit of time, and we now have an opportunity, which who knows how quickly we can take it. As far as talking about finals recently, I guess it was probably a couple of months ago where we knew if we keep winning, we're a chance, and probably 6 weeks ago we knew we could maybe afford to lose one game, which we did, and we got a little bit lucky with a couple of other results went our way, which gives us an opportunity.
You've played in front of some big crowds this year, especially the 300 for Dusty. Do you think that's going to be beneficial for the players playing in a Hawthorn-like atmosphere tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think it gives us a little bit of confidence. I think I suspect there'll be 90,000 or thereabouts at the game, and the fact that we've done that before, it's one less unknown. It'll be a different crowd, completely different crowd to the Dusty 300th. But we've played in front of some big crowds. Are we as experienced as some of the other clubs? Obviously not, and a lot of premiership players in the Bulldogs side. So are we as experienced as them? No, but do we go into the game confident that we've been here before? We've played in front of 90,000 plus. Yes, so we have some level of confidence, but I mean, we're all trying to come up with the story of something that might happen. It'll be much easier to tell that story after the result, won't it?
Do you use a Gunston or a Bruce or even a Ginnivan from last year, or other people in the building like the Roughhead this week, to just share some experience with what September's like?
Yeah, I mean, I think across the playing group, we sort of say who's been here before, who's experienced it, who's got some tips, who knows how they've handled something well or handled something poorly in years gone by. And I think in a football club there's so many experiences from so many people that we do our best to share those things. But we also have to bring it back to, it's still a game of footy. It's at the MCG. There'll be a lot of peripheral things happening, but when the ball bounces, it's still just a game.
How's selection looking, Sam? You've got CJ is going to be putting his hand up. Obviously, no one day, etc. So, what are your thoughts? I know you won't say exactly what's on your mind, but generally, how are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll have a full match committee this afternoon, and finalise the team today. We probably still have a couple of question marks. I would say maybe 20 players will be locked in, and I think there's probably still 3 that we're considering, how to go with that last group. A little bit of it might play into the weather, a little bit of it might be some matchups, a little bit of training. We'll practice a couple of things today, and there's still a couple of decisions to make, but for the most part, it's done.
Did CJ show enough on Saturday that you can bring him in for a final after missing the last 3 games of the WA season?
I mean, it was really important that he played. I think he wouldn't have played for over a month now if he hadn't have played in that game. So important that he got the run, he got through the game physically, and he's available for selection. So he's one of the guys who, we're making a decision about what's the best way to win this game. I think in years gone by, when you get towards the end of the year, you're thinking about, okay, what's the best development mode for us? Who needs this game? Who can afford to not play? And what can we do to develop? Whereas obviously you're picking this purely to beat this team. Who can play our system the best? Who can help us beat the Bulldogs the best? And CJ's given himself a chance, which is fantastic because he's going to be an important player for us. And he's put his hand up for selection for this week.
There's some wonderful finals, Cinderella stories, your opposition back in 2016, the Baby Bombers. 2008, the Mighty Hawks, do you dare to dream about what do you sort of bring the lens back a bit and think what might be possible over the next month?
I haven't. It's not been strategic that I haven't. I just haven't felt the need to think further ahead. And as cliched as this sounds, it's an elimination final. If we don't win this, there's no point dreaming any further than that. So we know that the Bulldogs are a fantastic side. We know we're going to have to play really well to be able to compete with them. And if we give it our best, we put it all out there and we can play close to our best footy, then we think we're a chance. So that's our focus. And what happens after that will be handled after that.
If you progress, do you expect to have Will Day back next week?
Unsure. I think we'll try and make a decision reasonably quickly, though. I don't think we need the cloak and dagger stuff, which we've avoided for this game, and we knew he was not going to be available, so we let you guys know pretty quickly, and just for him as much as anyone, so he's not getting asked about it all the time. But he certainly hasn't been ruled out for anything after this week.
Nash go to the Bont. Is that an easy call for you?
Yeah, I mean, Bontempelli, obviously Libba has been enormous for them for a generation. Really, Treloar's All-Australian this year, so they've got a lot of talented players. What we do with Nashy is whether he starts on someone or whether we use him as a bit of a go-to if things get out of hand. We've done a bit of both this year, so I'll leave that in David Hale's hands and he'll make the call.
So you're thinking Treloar gets up?
Not sure. No point guessing what they're doing. I think they, they're going to obviously play him if he's available, and we suspect that he'll play, but unknown.
You're 0-5 at the start of this year, and you've had your own massive issues off the track over the last couple of years. It's well documented. What has this club got that other clubs, Essendon, Fremantle, St Kilda, would love to have? I'm far away from getting involved in that. I would say that Hawthorn has historically been a successful, a lot of documentation. We've won a premiership in every decade since the 60s, and it is set the bar high, and I hope for the best. And it's a club that's built off premierships, not off finals. So that's, every club's a little bit different in what they call success, but certainly for this club, if we don't win the grand final this year, we're not going to sit back and say what a success that was. We know that this club's built on premierships, and we want to continue that legacy. I hope it's this year, but if it's not, then that'll be our focus going forward.
How important is Lloyd Meek this week? Coming up against Tim English, the Bulldogs bat very deep in terms of their midfield, no Will Day. How important will the role be that Lloyd Meek plays?
Yeah, I mean, I think the ruck is one of the really pure matchups in AFL. Mostly midfielders play on everyone, and fullbacks and full forwards move around a lot, but the rucks are still, you measure them against each other at the end of a game, and the English versus Meek matchup is going to be one that will dictate a lot of the game, and Meekie knows that. He brings some strengths to the table that we're really, really happy with, and he's obviously not got quite the height that English has, but his mobility and physical follow-up we think is going to be important, and if he can play well, then that'll go a fair way to helping us win the midfield battle, and if we win the midfield battle, it goes a fair way to helping us win the game.
Luke Hodge just spoke on radio about your transformation. He said he's been most surprised and kind of suggested he's proud of what you've been able to do, I guess, to embrace all these kids and selfies and hot ball and everything else. Has it taken a bit of courage on your part to do that?
I saw Hodgie texting saying he was keeping Gunners and Puggy in line. I had to have a chuckle at those things. I think when you have a group of players who are willing to take the reins themselves, that makes a coach's job really easy. And our players from round 5, that post the Gold Coast loss, I thought the players really said, okay, we need to drive this ourselves. This needs to be our club. We need to take control here, and that makes it really easy for a coach to say, okay, you've got this. And And so they've really taken control of the club themselves, and that's what every club and every coach hopes for. So it's the players who deserve the credit for certainly wasn't me who came up with Hawthorn. I'm still not exactly sure what that means. So that's been driven by a narrative from outside the coaching, and I think the players deserve the credit for creating the environment that they have.
What about letting them be themselves though, and not cutting that out of their performance, the celebrations, and bringing the crowd along and the TikTok and everything else?
Yeah,
probably not natural.
I don't have TikTok myself, so I don't follow it too closely. But I think everyone can perform their best in any role, whether that's as a footballer or in any job. If you can perform it the way that you would like to do it, and if that's part of a team and it fits into the team structure, then everyone performs better when they're acting as their natural self. So if I was trying to make Jack Gunston celebrate goals, he probably wouldn't like that too much. And if you're trying to get the Wizard to not celebrate goals, he probably wouldn't like that too much either. So allowing people to be themselves and express themselves in whatever way they are comfortable with it's pretty basic human nature that will help you perform at your best.